Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day one of the Reclaim Your Strength and Mobility workshop. So this is going to be a fantastic week. I've got three routines ready to go for you. So I hope you're going to enjoy them. Each day we're going to focus on a slightly different area. Today, day one, I'm standing up. So we are going to look at leg and glute strength. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. Now, I've got my pad here so that I can just see who is joining me this morning. That's wonderful. I see there's a few of you have already joined on, which is great. If you're watching, that's fabulous. I'd really like to know who is watching. So if you can just pop a quick hello in the comments, I can say hello to you. I know who is watching me. That is always good to know. Well, there's quite a few of you coming on now, isn't it? So we'll just give it a couple of minutes. We'll wait for everyone to jump on, and I'll get started. Now, while we're waiting for those people to join on, let me remind you about the competition that is running alongside this workshop. I haven't done a competition before, so I thought we'll have a go at doing something a little bit different this time. So what you need to do is you need to find the post that I put on end of last week. It's the one with the fireworks on. I thought I'll put fireworks on, then it's easy to spot. So see if you can find that, and the instructions are there to tell you how to enter the competition. What you need to do, there's a link in there to visit my business page, because I can't do the competition in the group, it has to be on my business page. So click on the link to my business page, it'll take you straight there. At the top of the page there is a post, and it's got a big title on it saying Share the Strength of Pilates. That's the post that you're looking for. Okay, it's a picture of me doing Pilates. Okay, find that post, and then what you need to do is you need to like it. So just put a thumbs up or a love heart or whatever you want to. And to enter the competition, you need to comment on the post. So just put a comment below, say, it could be anything. You could put, I'm taking part in the workshop, can't wait, or whatever, something like that. Just something quick and short will be fine. And then what you need to do to make sure your name goes into the hat is share the post. So there is a share button, okay, below the picture of me, okay, press share, okay, share it with all your Facebook friends and family, and then you will be entered into that competition. The comment is really important, because without that, I don't know who wants to enter, because once you put a comment in, your name pops up, doesn't it? So make sure you put the comment on and then share it. That's the competition. What else do I need to tell you? I have made a little list so I don't forget. I don't think I need to tell you anything else, do I? Except at the end, I've got a little task for you, okay? Well, it's not really a task, it's just something that you can, just to encourage you to do throughout your day, which is going to help you improve your strength. And this one really is going to help you improve your posture as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that at the end. Some more people have joined on. That's fantastic. Don't forget to say hello. Oh, there we go. I can see. Oh, I can't see the comments. I can't see the comments. Oh no, that's disappointing, is it? Hang on. Can I see them? No, I still can't see them. Why is that happening? Oh dear, I'll have to have a look at them after. I'll try again in a bit. Okay, but keep popping them in, because I like to see them. I don't know why I can't see them. Okay, but I will have a look at them. I'll try again in a bit, see if I can see them. Right, just bear with me 1 second, because I've got a new camera today, and I just feel like it's just sinking, and if I stand here for much longer, I'm going to lose my head. So just bear with me for a second. I am just going to adjust the angle slightly. That's it. Is that better? Can you think that might be better? That's a bit better, isn't it? Not losing my head now. Right. Okay then. So today we are going to be looking at strengthening the muscles, particularly the muscles of the legs and the hips, and those muscles in your bum. So legs and glutes, that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to start off in standing, okay? So we're using our own body weight to create a little bit of extra resistance so that we can work a little bit harder on some of the exercises. In a little while, we'll come down onto the mat. we're going to come into sideline, so you'll need a little bit of support in a sideline position. So today I've got a towel, okay, and a yoga block, okay. You've got one of those, fantastic. If not, 2 or 3 towels stacked up will be fine, or a cushion works rather well as well. Okay, so that's just for our sideline exercises. I'll move that out of the way actually, shall I? Right, okay, so the first thing we are going to do this morning is do a nice setup, okay, and a little bit of a warm-up, okay, before we get into those exercises. So we'll do our setup first, and I'm going to talk about engaging through the abdominals, and I'm going to show you how to engage and how you can check and make sure you're doing that. So we'll do the setup first then. So we're going to stand with the feet together. The first thing you're going to do is fan the heels out, then the toes. We want to soften the knees a little bit, so now we've got feet, knees and hips all nicely lined up. So imagine now that you're being lengthened up through the spine. You're standing up nice and tall, and the shoulders are nice and relaxed. Feel like the collarbones are widening at the front, and keeping that chest nice and open. Wonderful. Now, breathing in Pilates is really important. We breathe into, I always say into the ribs, okay, because we can feel the ribs if we put the hands there. So I'm going to go with the ribs, okay. If we breathe correctly in Pilates, it makes some of the exercises a lot easier. So that's why I do it. So let's just practice breathing into the ribs to start with. So we've got the hands on the ribs so you can feel what's going on. We're going to take a breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And again, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Wonderful. So as you take that breath in, feel the rib cage expanding. So you feel the rib cage expand under the hands, and then as you breathe out, you feel it closing down again. So we want to try and fill up the lungs with as much air as we can, and then blow it all out again. Wonderful. We'll rest the arms down. Now I'm just going to turn to the side for a second so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to find our neutral spine position. So this is the ideal position for the spine to be in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one hand on the tummy, one hand in the lower back. The knees are a little soft. And then all I want you to do is to tilt your pelvis backwards and forwards just a little bit. I don't want you to force it. Just move nice and steady. Okay, and it's a lovely exercise just on its own. This is just to help loosen up the lower spine. Okay, so what we want to do to find that neutral position is finish with a slight curve in the lower part of the back. So we don't want to finish too arched, so your bum's sticking out, and we don't want to be too flat either. As you can see, I'm completely flat now. We want to have that slight curve in the lower back. That is our neutral position. Now, let me show you how to engage your core abdominal muscles while you are in standing. So we're going to do a little bit of visualization. We're going to use our hands to help us. So we're just going to place the hands on the tummy. Okay, I've got like a little diamond shape going on. Okay, so at the moment the abdominals are nice and relaxed. Okay, so what I want you to think about now is a belt going all the way around your hips. And your belt is quite broad and it's got 10 notches on it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull that belt as tight as we can, and we're going to put it onto the 10th notch. And as you tighten your belt, you're going to draw in those abdominal muscles as much as you possibly can. Okay? Now we're going to do it with that breathing that we've already done, because that makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, we're going to imagine that we're tightening that belt. Pull it in nice and tight onto the 10th notch. And as you do that, draw the abdominals in as much as you possibly can. Now, because we've got the hands there, hopefully you can feel those abdominals working a little bit. So they've gone from feeling soft to feeling a little bit firmer under the hands there. Now, all we're going to do is take that belt straight off. So just relax and release. Keep the hands there, and that's when we can usually feel how much we've been working, because we can feel the abdominal muscles relaxing as we take that belt off. Now, when we're working through our exercises, we don't want to keep the belt on the 10th notch because the muscles will fatigue really quickly then. But that is a good exercise just to practice putting that belt on and engaging the abdominals. We're going to do it again. We're going to put the belt onto the 5th notch this time. So if you're watching along now, okay, join in and have a little go with it. So you just need to stand up and just place the hands, take a breath in. And this time as you breathe out, visualize that belt tightening just onto the 5th notch. Still drawing in the abdominals, but not quite as much this time because the belt's only going onto the 5th notch. Now relax and release. Take the belt off. Feel the abdominals relaxing again under your hands. Wonderful. We're going to do one more time because the belt on the 5th notch is still a little bit too much to keep on while we're exercising. So this time we're going to put it onto the 3rd notch. So we're going to take a breath in. And again, as we breathe out, visualize that belt tightening, put it onto the 3rd notch. Draw in the abdominals, but only a little bit this time because we're only putting that belt onto the 3rd notch. Okay, so we've drawn those abdominals in a little bit. The belt is on the 3rd notch. We've got to keep the belt on to keep the abdominals pulled in. So don't take the belt off now. Just relax the arms down by the side of you and just hold it there for a second. Feel like you're standing up nice and tall. Keep the abdominals pulled in. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Hold it there. Oh dear, can you see I'm getting close to the top of the screen again? I'm going to lose my head again. I am going to have to just adjust it again. There we go. Is that any better? Oh, that's better, isn't it? Right, a bit more space. By the time it thinks again, I shall be on the floor, hopefully, so I won't have to do that again. Right, okay. Right, so we've put our belt on. Let's do our warm-up. Okay, so we've got the feet hip width. We're standing up nice and tall. We're keeping the abdominals engaged. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and send the arms all the way up to the ceiling and then float them down the side. And then we do it again. So we breathe in, arms go up to the ceiling. Breathe out and float down the side. So we want to feel that length through the spine as we do this. Imagine you've got a thread coming out of the top of your head, pulling you up to the ceiling, making you stand up as tall as you can. You're standing in that neutral position. You've got that belt on. Wonderful. So let's do a bit of balancing. So as the arms go up this time, let's lift both heels up and then lower the heels as we lower the arms. Then we do it again. We lift the heels, arms go up, and then we lower back down. Wonderful. And we do it again. So arms go up, lift the heels, lower the heels on the way down. Wonderful. Now this time we're going to go into a knee bend. So before the arms go up, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to float the arms, stand up tall, and then we'll repeat. So we'll lift the heels and send the arms up, lower the heels, ready for our knee bend. We'll go down and float the arms. Stand up nice and tall. Here we go again. Lift the heels, arms go up, lower the heels, circle the arms down into the knees. Wonderful. Should we do it one more time? Here we go. Lengthen up through the spine, standing up as tall as you can, and then down into the knees. Fabulous. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, making sure that that belt is still on really well. Wonderful. Okay, so let's work these legs a little bit. So we're going to do a little sequence now to strengthen the thighs, and they're going to work your bum a little bit as well. Now I'm just going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay. So we're going to come into a lunge position. So what that means is you need to stand with one foot in front of the other. Okay, now a little tip on this one. Make sure you haven't got one foot directly behind the other because that makes it a bit hard to balance. So we want the feet about hip width apart, just one foot in front of the other. Not a big step, a little step is fine. Okay, hands on the hips. Now you remember that neutral position that we found at the beginning when I got you to do this, okay? Make sure you're back in neutral, because when you're in this lunge position, you've got one leg behind, it's quite easy to stand like this and then you've just got a big arch in the lower back. We don't want that. So just feel like you're just tucking your tailbone under a little bit, okay? Just flattening out the lower back a touch, but not completely flattening it, just finishing with that little curve again. Okay, we're going to do some little lunges. So your back foot, you need to pick the heel up. Okay, so the heel stays up off the mat. So we're just going to go down into the knees. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. Then we're going to breathe out and go down into the knees and then stand up tall. Go down into the knees and stand up tall. Okay, now you can bend the knees as much as you want to. You can do a little bend. So this is a nice one because you can progress it, okay? So you can do little bends to start with, and then as you get more strength in the legs, you can bend the knees more, you can go down further to the floor. So I'll leave it up to you how far you want to go down. Stay in neutral, keep that back heel lifted, wonderful. Okay, so we're using our own body weight now to strengthen those muscles. But a lot of the standing exercises, we're using our own body weight, aren't we? So it's also benefiting our bones as well. So it's strengthening the bones as well. The muscles are pulling on the bones, encouraging to keep that bone density in those muscles. Okay, we've done quite a few of those, haven't we? So we have a little breather. Okay, now the other thing that we tend to lose as we get a little bit older is our balance. Quite often it's because, well, we don't practice balancing, do we, every day? But if we've lost the strength in our body, it makes it harder to balance. So we need that strength around the centre, those abdominals, and our strength is really important as well. So we're going to progress that lunge this time, okay? So I think we'll have the arms out in front. I've still got that back heel lifted. So I'm going to go down into the knees again. But this time I'm going to pick that back leg up. I'm going to do a little knee lift. I'm going to take it behind me and go back into the lunge. So as you do this one, as you pick that knee up, make sure you're looking straight ahead. Focus on something in front. Remember to keep the belt on. Okay. You only need to do a little float if you want to, if you're a bit wobbly. Okay. You can also hold on to something so you can do it like this. Okay. That will be fine as well until you get used to it. Okay, hold that position. Keep the arms out in front. We're going to do some little pulses. The back heel is stiff but still lifted. So we're going to go down. We're just going to do some little pulses into the knees. Pulse, 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 pulse. Okay, so we're just working those leg muscles a little bit more. And already I can feel it. I feel it in my thighs. Feel it in my bum a little bit. Let's do a few more. So we'll do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll stand up nice and tall. Now we need to switch and do it on the other side. So we get back into our split stance. I've just turned around. It's just easy for me to do that, but you can just switch your legs over. So this time you've got the other foot in front. So whichever foot is at the back, lift the heel again. We'll have hands on the hips again. Remember that little tuck. Neutral position, belt is on, shoulders down, standing up nice and tall. Here we go, down into the legs. We'll keep the feet where they are. So as we breathe out, we go down to the knees and stand up tall. Down into the knees and stand up tall. And again, on this one, that you can go down to the knees as much as you want to, okay? Obviously, the further you go down, the more challenging it becomes. Are we ready to try out that balance? Okay, so we'll do one more. So here we go this time. We'll go down and then pick up the knee. Go down and pick up the knee. Go down and pick up the knee. Looking straight ahead. The whole time, focus on something in front. Wonderful. Here we go. Last one. Down, pick up the knee. Take the leg behind you. Bring the hands back onto the hips. Little tuck again. Make sure you're in neutral. Let's do those little pulses. So we'll bend the knees a little. And then we'll pulse, pulse, pulse. Bending into the knees. Don't need to bend the knees too much on this one. Little bend is okay. Keep breathing normally, but still feel like you're lengthening up through that spine. Here we go. We'll do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet back together. So just doing that little sequence, I could feel it in my thighs a little bit, strengthening those thigh muscles, and I could feel it in my bum a little bit as well. So that is just the start of the type of exercises that we can do that are nice and simple. You don't get out of breath generally. I'm out of breath because I'm doing it and talking. But generally, if you're just doing it and you're following along, it's not something that you get out of breath to, but they are really effective exercises if you do them consistently. We've got to get onto the mat now. I feel like I need to adjust that camera again. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit now. How's that? Is that better? So you can see my mat a bit better. Okay, I'm going to roll down to the floor. You don't have to do this. You can come just down onto your mat however you want to. I'm going to show you roll down. You can watch me do it if you want to. It's a nice way to get down onto the mat because I have so many people who say, oh, I can get on the floor, but I can't get back up again. But we can use this exercise to roll us up and down. So let me show you. We drop the head down. We roll down, okay? So it's a nice exercise on its own, but it's a really nice one to transition us from standing to sitting. So if you imagine now, I just come down onto my mat. I won't come all the way down, okay? But I couldn't I? I could just come into all fours or into sitting. But I can come up the same way, and it doesn't look particularly easy, I suppose, on the way up. But it may be just because you haven't seen it before, you haven't tried it before, and it can be a little bit tricky for some people. But actually, it doesn't take long to get used to this one. Okay, and it makes it so much easier to get up off the floor. Because when we try to get up, when we have trouble getting up on the floor, off the floor, if there's nothing obviously wrong with your joints, if you're all healthy and you're fine, chances are it is just the strength of your leg muscles which is just letting you down a little bit. Okay, it's a nice, elegant way to come up, I always think. Okay, and it's an exercise on its own. It's strengthening those muscles, and it's a really nice one to mobilize the spine. So this time I'm going to come down again. And I am just going to finish on the mat this time. I'm going to come all the way down. Right, now, I've got a towel. Okay, so with this towel now, we're going to come into an all fours position. Okay, now I'm using a towel because I've got a bit of a funny wrist. Okay, so I have trouble putting my hands flat on the mat sometimes. So I've got a towel, so I just put the heel of my hands on there. So you can try this if you've got sensitive wrists. It just does take a bit of pressure out of those wrists a little bit. Okay, so we're working legs and glutes, so we're going to carry on in this position, doing that. Okay, so when you're in this position, you want hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Make sure you're looking down at the mat rather than up in front, because that's just going to hurt your neck, that is. Okay, so we're going to take one leg out. Okay, the toe is on the floor. We're going to do a little lift and lower. So all you're going to do is lift the leg to hip height and then tap the toe on the floor. So we do a lift and a lower, and a lift and a lower. Nice and simple, but we want to keep the leg as straight as we can. Now I'm working more the muscles in my bum now, okay? So each time you float the leg up, squeeze your bum, do a big squeeze and tap. Do a squeeze and tap. Okay, nice straight leg the whole time. Okay, here's the last one. Wonderful. Okay, take the leg up again. Bend the knee, flex the foot. So we start in this position. So we're going to do some little pulses. So this time we're going to push the foot up to the ceiling and we're going to pulse, 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 pulse. So we push the foot up to the ceiling. Now I can already feel those muscles in my bum working really well. So our glute muscles, those muscles in the bum, they're often overlooked sometimes. It's not something that we intentionally exercise, but as you get a little bit older, they come in really handy for climbing the stairs. If you like walking, you're climbing up a hill, just getting up out of the chair sometimes, they are going to help an awful lot. Okay, better do that on the other side. I want to feel that. So, leg goes out, nice and straight. We'll do our lift and lower. So you can see so far, all the exercises I'm doing are fairly simple, straightforward exercises to do. But as you get used to them, There is always something we can add to them. So this one I'm doing now, this lift and lower, okay, fairly easy. But as soon as you take that leg up, bend the knee, and we go into the little pulses. We're just making a little bit harder, and we're just focusing on those muscles in your bum a little bit more, strengthening them up a little bit more. Wonderful. Should we do a few more? We'll do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg down. I'm just going to sit back into a shell stretch and reach the arms forward because this is a really nice position to come into, just to relax into. But if you've been working those glute muscles, it's a nice stretch for those as well. Okay. Sideline and this time, so we'll change position again. So this is where you need a little bit of extra support underneath your head. How are we getting on so far? I think before we come into sideline, shall I have a little look and see? Oh, if I can I see the comments? Can I see them? Oh, there's quite a few of you watching now, isn't there? Oh, fantastic. I can't understand why I can't see them. Got some more comments in there, but oh, you can tell what room I'm in, can't you, Stay? Different camera, it's wider. I never noticed that. Right, I can't see the comments. I don't know why. I'm going to have to read them all later. Right, okay. Side lying. We're going to do an exercise called the clam. So the clam is one for strengthening the muscles in the glutes. I always think of it more of hips because it's more on the side that you feel it. But it's still part of the glute complex, all those muscles in your bum there. Okay, but it's a really nice one to strengthen up those hips. Okay, so we're going to come down. We're going to set ourselves up. We've got the arms out in front. Okay, we've got the feet in line with the spine. The knees are bent. Okay, now I didn't mention the belt on the last one. Okay, but I'm going to on this one. So when it's a bit more tricky in sideline to think about engaging those abdominals and putting that belt on. But what we need to do, another way of thinking about it, is thinking of picturing your spine, okay, front of your body. If you relax onto the mat now, like I am, just relaxing down, if you imagine where your spine is, mine's got a little kink in it because I'm relaxing down towards the mat. So kink here as my waist goes into the mat. We want to straighten up the spine. So what I need to do is I need to lift my waist out of the mat a little bit. But the easiest way to do this is to put your hands on your hip. And then as you breathe out, just push your hip away. So it feels like you're creating space between the hip and the ribs. And as you do that, you get a little bit of lift through the waist there. Okay, and now all of a sudden, if I visualize my spine again, it's nice and straight this time. Okay, so I've got the arms out in front. I want to keep that little lift. Keep that hip away. Keep the spine nice and straight as I do this next little bit. Now we're nice and straight, we can put that belt on as well. So you can engage the abdominals. If you find it more difficult engaging in this position, don't worry too much. Just think about that lift. Push that hip away. Keep the spine centered. Okay, that will be enough. Okay. Right, the clam. We're going to keep the feet together and open out the knees. Now we're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to open out the knee, and then bring it back together. And again, breathe out, open out the knee, and bring them back together. Wonderful. And again, breathing out, and breathing in. Breathing out, and breathing in. Wonderful. So as we do this one, we want to keep the pelvis nice and still. So we're really targeting those muscles just at the side of the hip there. Now we can straighten out the leg and make it a bit more challenging. So we can do an open and a straighten and bend and return. Let's open and straighten and bend and return. And again, we open and straighten, bend and return. Let's open and straighten, bend and return. So we've got nice straight legs. So we're working the muscles in the leg again, but we're really focusing on those muscles in the hip. So I can feel my hip muscles working now. Here we go. Here's our last one. And then we'll bring the knees back together. Wonderful. Now we'll push that support away because we're going to push up onto our elbow this time. So again, we're going to just focus about lift again, like we did before. Okay, so I'm going to set myself up the same way with the feet roughly in line with the spine. The knees are forward of the body. The elbow is underneath the shoulder. I want to create that lift again. I'm thinking about the shape of my spine. It's bending a little bit because I'm just sinking into the mat. So this time I'm going to put my hand underneath and I'm just going to lift my ribs out of the mat so I can straighten the spine, and it just allows me to relax the shoulders down a little bit more. We're going to take the arm out to the side. Okay, now I'll do 3 levels to this one because I don't know who's watching. I'm sure there's some beginners and some a little bit more advanced. So if you're a beginner, this is where you would start with this exercise. You take a breath in and the arm would go over the top, and then you breathe out and the arm would come back. Okay, and all you would be focusing on is that nice positioning. So keeping the spine in that nice position, nice and straight, not allowing yourself to sink into the mat. We don't want that. We want to stay nice and lifted. So if you've been doing Pilates a little while and you want to move it on a little bit, we can lift the hips. So this time the arm goes over, we'll lift the hips, we'll breathe out, and we'll come back down. And we'll do it again. We'll breathe out, lift the hips, and we'll come back down. Now you might be okay with this one. You might feel it in the shoulders a little bit, so keep those shoulders down really well. But if you wanted to move it on again, I'll bring my hand onto my hip this time. We're going to go back to our clam that we did on the mat a second ago. So we're going to lift the hips up and hold it this time. And then we're going to go into our clam. We'll just do a few. Okay, so you've got to keep the shoulders down really well. I'm nice and strong through the center. I've got that belt on now. It's easier to put it on now. I'm up here. I'm lifting the ribs away. I've got the spine in a nice straight line. Here's the last one. And then we can come down. And then we can push ourselves up. And just roll the shoulders round. So you can see just on that one exercise how we can progress them and make them more challenging. We can make them more challenging more by adding in legs. We can do lots of things to really work those muscles. So a basic exercise can become really challenging and really help to strengthen and tone your muscles. Back to sideline. We're going to do the other side this time, haven't we? Okay, so we're going to do the same setup again. So we've got the arms out in front, the knees are bent, the feet are in line with the spine. Okay, I'm sinking into my mat a little bit again. I'm visualizing the shape of my spine. It's sinking again. So I want to lift the waist out of the mat. So I'm going to push that top hip away, create some space between the top of the pelvis and the bottom rib. Okay, and then if you can't quite put the belt up, that's okay. As long as I stay lifted, those abdominal muscles will be working just to hold you there. Okay, arms out in front. Okay, let's work the hips again. We're going to do the clam. So as you breathe out, we open out the knee and close. Breathe out to open and close. Wonderful. That's it. So nice and steady, nice and controlled. Trying to keep the pelvis as still as we can because that will really target the muscles that we want to strengthen around the hip. Okay, we can add in our leg straightening, so we'll do that on the next one. So here we go. So we'll open and straighten, together and lower. We open and straighten, together and lower. Breathe out, breathe in. So again, keeping the pelvis nice and still. Nice straight leg as it goes out. Really feel like you're squeezing the front of the thigh as you do it. Wonderful. Here we go. Last one. Wonderful. Okay. We're going to move our support away again. We're going to push ourselves back up. So we'll go through those 3 exercises again. Now you've seen them once. Okay. If you're having a go with this with me, you can stop at the level that you feel most comfortable with. So if it's that first one, then that's fine. If you really want to challenge yourself, then you can just do them all with me, okay? So make sure you've got the nice setup. Elbow under shoulder. Feet are roughly in line with the spine. The knees are forward of the body. Take your free hand again. Put it under your ribs. Breathe out. Lift the ribs up. Remember, you want to visualize that spine. Nice straight position. Shoulders down. Arm is out. Here we go with our first level. So we breathe in and send the arm over. And breathe in as the arm comes back down. So we're staying nicely lifted out of the mat. Nice relaxing what this is. Just gets you used to being in this position because it can put a lot of pressure through the arms, through the shoulders, which is good because it's strengthening up the muscles in the shoulders as well. Okay, let's move on to the next level. So we're going to lift and take the arm over this time. So we'll take a breath in to prepare. Breathe out, lift the hips, send the arm up and over, and then come all the way back down. And again, breathe out, lift and reach, and then come all the way back down. And again. So if you feel this one is a bit more challenging, you don't have to do as many as I'm doing. You could just do a couple just to get used to it, and then go back to that first level. Okay, last level then, hand on the hip. We're going to lift and hold, and we're going to go back into our clam. Open and close. You might feel you only want to do one or two of these as well. That's fine. Okay, so you should really feel it working through the shoulders, through the upper body now, working hard. Still working the muscles in the hips, and those abdominal muscles should be working now. Okay, that'll be our last one. I think we'll come back down. We'll push ourselves up. We'll give the shoulders a little roll around. We're all done. I'm just checking I haven't missed anything. I haven't. Wonderful. Okay, so that was day one. Nice little routine for you. If you joined in with me, fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope it's made you realize that even the basic exercises, we can progress them. We can make them more challenging. But if you're watching this and you're fairly new to Pilates and you're looking at some of those more advanced exercises, remember that's not where you start. You start at the lower level and then you gradually build them up. Okay, so that's where we need to start. Okay, if we're fairly new, just build them up. Because if we jump in at the deep end and we do too much too quickly, we're going to pull muscles, we'll get muscle soreness, and we'll just start to get ache and get stiffness, and we don't want that. We want to do the exercises that give us the greatest benefits, but also make us feel good, okay? We don't want to wake up with aches and pains and stiffness because we've just done too much. We want to feel better in ourselves and in our body over time. So Pilates isn't a quick fix. It's not something that you can do for a week or two and you feel better. It's something that you need to stay consistent with. So sometimes when we're starting off, those basic exercises can seem really easy and it feels like you're not getting much out of them. But believe me, you will, particularly if you focus on the principles, which we've focused a couple on those today. Engaging the center, engaging the core, because it's easy to forget about that. When you're doing exercises and you're moving the arms and legs together, we normally forget this, okay? Quite often, a lot of beginners forget about this, okay? So it's important that we know how to do it easily and we keep well engaged while we're working. So there are some exercises in standing and in lying on the mat that will help to just to start tone and strengthen the muscles. We particularly focused on the legs and the hips today, because those are the exercises that are going to help you when you're going for those long walks with the dog, where you're walking up down the stairs, all those sort of things, getting up off the floor, which we talked about as well. All those are going to help strengthen those muscles in your legs, are really going to help a lot. Now, that is today, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Tomorrow we're really going to focus on the core abdominal muscles, because the core, our powerhouse, is the key to your power and your strength, okay? So it doesn't matter sometimes how strong or how much you work the arms, for instance. If you haven't got the strength through the center of the body, you're not really making the most of the strength that you've gained in the upper part of the body and the arms. If you really understand how to work those abdominal muscles, you'll feel stronger all over, even if you haven't done much on the arms and legs. It really does make an awful lot of difference. So I'm really going to dive in a little bit deeper tomorrow about how to engage the core abdominal muscles, because it's not only strengthening and toning the tummy muscles, which we all want, it's also strengthening those lower back muscles. So if you wake up in the morning with stiffness in your lower back, or you just get general aches and pains from time to time in your lower back, this is one for you. Okay, the core abdominal muscles are more important than we think sometimes. They're just not focusing on the abdominals at the front. It's the muscles all the way around, especially in those lower back. We'll be working those muscles as well. So that's tomorrow. So I'll take you through how to engage them, and we'll do a little exercise with you so you can check yourself and see if you are engaging correctly. I'm going to have one more look. So how many people have we got watching? Oh, there's still quite a few of you on, isn't it? That's wonderful. Lots of comments that I can't read, so I'm going to have a look at those after. If you've got any questions about today, pop them in the comments, because what I'm going to do on Friday, I'm going to come back in on Friday, same time, 10:30, but I'm going to do like a little Q&A session. So if you've got any questions about the exercises that we've done this week, or just generally anything about Pilates, then just pop them in there, and I'll save them up for Friday, and I will answer them all there for you. I've told you about tomorrow, that's it. Okay, so the last thing I need to tell you about is your little daily task. Okay, so as you're going about your day today, what I want you to think about, you know, at the beginning, I'm going to come up into high kneeling. I won't stand up. Okay, I'll just come into this position. We were standing at the beginning, weren't we? We had our hands on our tummy. Okay, and I said, I talked you through how to engage your abdominals in standing, and I told you how to find that neutral position. Okay, now it's important when you engage through the center that you find neutral first. You want to be in the right position and then fix yourself, if you like, by putting the belt on. Okay, if you're like this with your bum sticking out, and then you try and fix yourself, you can see straight away my posture isn't very good. That's not right, is it? So I need to make sure that I'm in neutral, and then I can put that belt on. And it sort of fixes me in this nice upright position. And as I do that, I feel much taller and more lengthened through the spine. My shoulders just naturally relax. Okay, so what I want you to do later on, if you're washing up or you're making a cup of tea, okay, I want you to stand up tall. I want you to just bring yourself into that neutral position and just practice putting that belt on. Okay, you can put the belt on to the 10th notch. If you want to practice it, really pull them in so you can really feel what's going on. Or you can just gently pull them in onto the 3rd notch and just hold it there while you wait for the kettle to boil. Okay, you can do that. Okay, and just practice it. Okay, you can stand there and practice it, and then walk up and down the hall. Okay, with the belt on, standing up nice and tall, and just. Now, this is just an exercise on its own, and some people find that it's quite tiring just doing that, because what it's doing, it's making you stand up tall, which, let's face it, a lot of us are sitting a lot. I know I'm sitting a lot more than I used to at the minute, so we come into this position a bit more, don't we? So if we can put the belt on length enough, it opens out the chest, it opens out the front of the body. It makes us feel so much better. We can stand up, we can breathe easier. So I want you to do that today, this afternoon, as you're walking about the house and you're doing little things. Just think every now and again, you're going to go do it for a minute or so, not too long. Stand up tall, put the, come into your neutral position and put that belt on, and just try it. And I guarantee if you do it a few times over the next week, it'll become more natural and you'll be doing it much more easier. So that is your daily task. Okay, right, I think I've run over. I was planning on only doing half an hour. I think we've gone for about 50 minutes. I tend to get carried away. I always do. So apologies, because I didn't actually say at the beginning how long it was going to be. It's a good job I didn't actually, because you'd be wondering how long I'd be running on for. So we're finished. We're going to leave it there, but I'm going to come back tomorrow. I will try and stick to half an hour, closer to half an hour tomorrow. Okay, back tomorrow to look at these core abdominal muscles. So if I can get my camera sorted out as well for tomorrow. So have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.